Hello everyone. So now let's start with the American Golf example to print the sum of all the numbers. That is, I go to the website americangolf.co.uk website. Out here I go to this golf clubs menu, and over here say suppose I go to this drivers link. Okay, and then what you have to do is you have to print the sum of all the numbers that are listed over here under the brand section. We have to print the sum of all these numbers. So how will you do this? So let's see into that right now. Okay, so I'll open up my Visual Studio. Herein I have created the WebDriver example in which I have included my Selenium DLLs and just try to open my Firefox browser. Okay, and then I can simply say driver.url, that is I want to navigate to this particular URL. Alright, now before actually starting off with this example, I assume you know how to extract multiple components on the web page. Alright, so like say suppose over here we have to extract all these elements. So if I try to inspect these elements, it says that the first element has got this particular XPath. That is, the XPath for the first element is this. Right, okay, hold on. So the first element has got this XPath. Similarly, if I try to inspect the third element, so the third element has got this particular XPath for it, and I keep it over here. Alright, and similarly say suppose if I inspect the third element as well, which has got this particular XPath. And then now if I carefully look into the XPath of all these elements, I can find only one parameter, only one thing changing in all the three elements XPath. That is, if you look carefully, you can see that only the index of this li tag is changing. Rest, the complete XPath is same for all the three elements. Only the only difference being in the index of this li tag, which is changing. You can see that li1, 2, 3 and so on. So I can say that driver dot find all the elements by which criteria? By dot XPath, that is what would be the XPath? Your XPath would be this. Okay, that is, I'll just show you. We have this XPath for all the elements on this particular web page. So if I do an evaluation, you see that it gives you the XPath for all the elements, for all the numbers that we actually want in our script. So I've removed the index for the li tag. We don't want any particular index, we want all these numbers, right? So this can be the XPath of our elements. Okay, and then this will give us a list of web element, say brand numbers. Alright, and then say suppose I print how many numbers are there. I'll just print the count of these numbers. Okay, and I'll write console dot read key to read the output. Fine, and then I'll execute my code. I'll just run it. Okay, so it opens up the Firefox browser. And hold on. Uh-oh. I did not print the count of these numbers. I'm just printing the brand numbers. I should have said dot count function. I want to count how many numbers are there, right? Okay, I'll just run it once again. Fine. Okay, so now you see that it says that the total number of numbers are 10. We have 10 different numbers with us whose sum we want to print in our example. Right. So we have 10 numbers with us. Now let's see how can we print the sum of all these numbers. Now before printing the sum, let me just print the text of the numbers. That is, I'll write a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than the total number of numbers you have, that is brand numbers dot count, and we have I plus plus, and I'll just print the text of these numbers dot the text. Okay, and I'll run it once again. Okay, so it says that the total number of numbers are 10, and then it prints the text of these numbers as well. These numbers, it prints the text of all these numbers. Right, so we have extracted these numbers. Now next what we have to do is we have to print the sum of all these numbers. Now if you carefully look into the output that we are getting right now, you can see that these numbers are actually enclosed within the brackets. Okay, that is, we are getting the result as the numbers within the brackets, which we don't want. We want only the digits. We don't want the brackets as well, because while printing the sum, the bracket should not be involved, right? We just want the simple digits. So now how will you remove these brackets from this particular text? How will you do that? Let's see that now. Okay, so I have these numbers, I have the text for all the numbers. Let me just store it in a variable. Say it is this text. Okay, now next what we have to do is we have to extract the bracket, we have to remove the brackets from these numbers. So in order to remove the brackets from the numbers, we have a function in C#, that is, you have text dot substring. Substring is the function which will help us retrieve a substring from a given text. Okay, so this substring function, it starts at a specified character position. That is, you have to specify the starting index. That is, my index is starting from the index 1. Okay, now let me look at the browser. So what you have is you have your data as 19 within the brackets. Now for this particular text, the length is 4. 2 for the brackets and 2 for the digits. That is, first round bracket opening is at the index 0, then 1 is at the index 1, 9 is at the index 2, and the round bracket closing is at the index 3. Okay, so what we want is we want only the digit from this entire text. I just want only the digit, that is 19. So my number is actually starting from the first index. Okay, so for that I say that I want the first index, the starting index is 1, and then you have to specify the length. That is, up till which characters you want to extract your data. That is, I want to extract my data till the second position, starting at the index which is starting from the index 1. So I say that I just want 2 digits for me. Okay, so I say that text dot substring, the starting index is 1 and I want my data till the second position. Okay, hold on. Say I store it in a variable. Fine, and let me just print the result for it. Okay, so I'll say print this data. Okay, so I'll just execute it. Okay, so alright, so now if you see into the output, it says like it has printed for the first element we have 19 within the brackets, and then after applying the substring function we are getting the correct output, that is 19 only, not the brackets we have. Similarly for the second digit as well, for the second element also we are getting the correct output, that is 10. Alright, now if we consider the third element, now the third element is actually a single digit number, that is 9 only. And then 9 is enclosed within the brackets, and then after applying the substring function, you can see that we are getting the round bracket closing as well in the output. So that means this substring function which we have executed right now is not valid for the single digit number. It is not giving us the correct output for the single digit number. So how can you do that? That is, now we will be using the substring function only. Now the operation what we have to do is, now like this two digit number, the length of this entire element is 4. 2 for the round brackets and 2 for the digits. But the length of this single digit number is 3. 2 for the brackets and only 1 for the number itself. So based on the length of this element, we will fire this substring function. Okay, that is, I say that if the length of the text, if it equals 4, then it should call the substring function like this, that is starting from the first index, and it should extract the two length, right? The 2 digits it should extract after the first index. Else what you say is, you say that else if the length of the text, if it equals 3, then I call my substring function which is starting from the index 1, that is, it is starting from the first index, the 0th index. The round bracket is at the 0th index and the digit is at the first index only. And then what you want, what should be the length of your data that you want? I just want only one single number, right? So the length is 1 only. I want only one digit for me, for the length whose length is equal to 3. Okay, fine. So now I'll just print the text as well, and I'll try to execute it once again. Okay, alright. So now we are getting the correct output for the single digit number as well. You can see that. Now we are only getting the digits, not the brackets as well with the number. So we have extracted these numbers out of the brackets also, right? So now next what we have to do is, now next we just simply have to add all these numbers and print them. Okay, so we'll just print them. That is, what I say is, I will, and then one more thing, this inside this t variable we are actually getting our result, and then this t variable is actually a string variable, right? It is of the type string. So what we will do next is, we will first of all convert this t variable which is of the type string into an integer variable. Okay, that is, say I say int x is equal to convert dot to int 32, and then what you have to convert is, you have to convert the t variable in which you are getting your result. Okay, and then I have to print the sum of them. So I'll just have a variable, and then I simply say sum is equal to sum plus x, and I'll print the sum as well. Okay, and I'll run it once again. Okay, hold on. Right, so you see that it prints the sum of all these numbers, that is 55.